Hello there, friends. Jules here. Hey, what's up? I'm your little buddy. I'm always here whenever there's a voiceover on gaming that needs to be done. And you know what? I consider myself to be your companion. And when it comes to video games, there are a ton of companions that are definitely worth recruiting that can help you out in a pinch. But you know what? Some of them are so deftly hidden that it can take ages for anyone to know that they're even recruitable. Well, let's have a chat about them today. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 hidden video game companions you didn't realise can be recruited. Number 10, Miss Mouse, Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. Now, all of your companions in Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door are tied to the game's plot and get automatically recruited to your party as soon as you reach a specific point in the main storyline. This is why it usually comes off as a shock when you realise there's actually one optional companion in the game, Miss Mouse. Miss Mouse is a thief mouse whose special ability allows you to sniff out any valuable loot that may be hidden around you. To get this character, you need to complete a side mission that appears on the Trouble Center board after you gain at least 4 stars in the creepy steeple. The mission will start with a quick chat with Miss Mouse, who will inform you that she wants to obtain a rare item called the Elusive Badge from Hooktail's castle. Once you find the badge and bring it to her, Miss Mouse will give you the option to recruit her, making her the only Paper Mario companion that you can actually miss out on. So, if you're not one to leave any potential allies behind, make sure to spend some extra time in Hooktail's castle and get Miss Mouse what she wants. Number 9, Us, Baldur's Gate 3. Now, Us is an intellect devourer from Baldur's Gate 3 that appears in the game's tutorial as a possible recruitable ally if the player manages to pull it out of the skull that it got stuck in. Because its role in the prologue is minuscule and you don't see it at all in Act 1 afterward, many people assume that Us only serves as a tutorial companion to make the first few fights a little easier. However, in reality, the creature can actually be encountered later on in the game, and if you did everything correctly, it can even be recruited permanently. In order to re-encounter Us, you'll need to succeed in lobotomizing it shortly after you rescue it from its predicament. The dexterity check will seem not to do anything at first, however once you reach Act 2, the consequences of your choice will take full effect. When you enter the Mind Flare colony in Act 2's finale, Us will appear again. The creature will be trapped in a cage for being deemed malfunctional, and if you help it escape, it will reward you with a brain that lets you summon it whenever you want. Ah, lobotomy. Apparently the best way to make friends. Number 8, Princess Sato, Kenhi. In Kenhi, a brutal survival game about a samurai-themed apocalypse, human life isn't really seen as a precious resource. Slaves are cheap and easily replaceable, but that doesn't mean that having friends by your side isn't important. Allies can help you survive in this harsh wasteland, and although most of the companions you meet are starving and homeless strays, if you know where to look, you can recruit some pretty powerful people as well, including an actual warrior princess. Each of the 3 major factions in the game offers unique perks for aligning yourself with them, and the Shek Kingdom, a faction comprised of an alien race of warriors, offers you a member of their royal family called Princess Sato as a potential secret companion. In order to recruit her, all you need to do is raise the Shek Kingdom's affinity, then declare yourself an official ally of the faction, and finally find Sato in her chamber once the Shek's queen asks you to take her with you. Aside from her royal heritage and diplomatic status, Sato has one of the best starting stats in the game, and with just a little bit of training, she can quickly become your team's strongest warrior. Number 7, The Provost, Wasteland 3. Wasteland 3, the sequel to the cult classic RPG of the same name, but with the 2 instead, and then another one without any numbers on it, hides a lot of strange and bizarre mysteries within its post-apocalyptic world, including a shadowy secret society whose one member is really into hanging out with your team. The Provost is a reoccurring mystery man who speaks only in cryptic Latin messages. He's a secret character that hides inside a locked cell in the Bazaar's Warrens. When you find him, he will decide to join your team and tag along for all of your adventures until you find a Minerva coin. The coin triggers the Provost to mark a hidden location on your map where his buddies from his secret society are gathering. Taking him there will make him leave your party, but if you really enjoy his company and weird Latin commentary, you can just ignore the coin and turn him into an unofficial member of the Rangers for as long as you want. The character can actually prove useful in combat as he's quite good at distracting enemies and sucking up damage. Just remember that because he isn't technically a party member, killing enemies with him won't grant you any experience. Number 6, Loghain, Dragon Age Origins. Loghain McTeer is the primary antagonist of Dragon Age Origins, and the man you want to kill for the first half of the game after he betrays your order and abandons his king in battle. And yet, for all the terrible crimes that he's committed, the game actually gives you the option to recruit him. That's right, unknowns to most new Origins players, the big bad can secretly be brought onto your team of adventurers in the second half of the story. After your character arrives at Denerim and exposes his conspiracy in front of the city's nobles, you may charge the man for his crimes by executing him in a duel or by forcing him to drink Darkspawn blood and undergo the Grey Warden's initiation ritual, thereby making him an official member of your order. The second option only becomes available if you side with his daughter, Honora, and ignore Alistair's protests. Once he's been recruited, Alistair will leave your team in disgust, but in exchange you get to finish the rest of the game with your ex-nemesis by your side. It's not quite enemies to lovers, but it's still a fun concept, so long as you don't mind losing Alistair in the process. Number 5. Junkyard Dog, Fallout 4. Although Dogmeat is the unequivocal star of Fallout 4, what with all the promotional material showing him walking side by side with the sole survivor, you might be surprised to learn that he isn't the only dog companion in this game. You can actually purchase additional dogs to join you from 2 unique traders in the game, the super mutant Erickson in the Far Harbor DLC and a secret NPC called Gene. Now Gene can appear in your game only via a random encounter on the road, so finding him can be a pretty rare occurrence. He spawns in with a dog, claiming it to be his companion that is also up for sale. Despite this, if you actually want to purchase the dog, you'll need to convince Gene that you'll be a good owner for it, as the man is quite sentimental about the dogs he raises. Once the transaction is complete, Gene's dog will function exactly like Dogmeat in terms of companionship, except she'll have a different appearance and a lack of unique name. Unless you count the words Junkyard Dog as a proper name. Well, given that Dogmeat is a name, perhaps that's not as outlandish as it seems. Number 4. Donal, Fire Emblem Awakening. The Fire Emblem games have a long history of secret companions that can be recruited out of the enemies that you find in the field. Fire Emblem Awakening does this tradition one better by not only letting you recruit some of your enemies, but also a seemingly unimportant NPC that appears as a support troop in one of the early quests in the game. Donal is a peasant boy who appears in the quest Sickle to Sword to help the shepherds repel an invading bandit force. The official objective of the mission is to kill the bandit's leader, but the quest also serves as a secret opportunity for you to recruit Donal onto your team. In order to do so, you need to help Donal prove his worth by helping him kill enough bandits to level up. The task is pretty difficult as Donal doesn't have a lot of health and deals pitiful damage, which is why any beginner player usually lets him just die and never realizes that he's a potential companion. Those that do manage to guide Donal to victory, however, gain a new ally and, more importantly, a new romantic interest to ship your characters with. Because, let's be real, the only reason we play Fire Emblem after all is to ship characters together. Number 3. Amelia Airheart, Starfield. When somebody asks you who Amelia Airheart is, there are only 2 correct responses. 1, that she was the first female pilot to fly over the Atlantic Ocean, and 2, she's one of the companions in Starfield. Yes, unknown to a lot of Starfield players, the Amelia Earhart, or at least her biological clone, is available as a secret recruit for your captain's ragtag team of crewmates. The clone is part of a side quest called Operation Starseed, in which your character visits an entire colony of clones of famous historical figures and helps them decide on how their society should integrate with the rest of the galaxy. After you complete the mission by siding with any of the 3 leading factions in the colony and receive your reward, you can come up to Amelia Earhart's clone and ask her if she would like to join your crew. The clone will be glad to lend a hand, and just like that, you will have one of the most famous pilots in Earth's history flying your spaceship. Number 2. Miko, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Skyrim's huge map features plenty of interesting places where a potential ally may hide just around the corner. Every major settlement in the region has at least one character who can join your cause, from mercenaries to mages, but if you go exploring outside of the walls of civilized places, you might be surprised to find that there's a new companion of a more canine variety out there called Miko. Miko is the only unique dog companion you can encounter in Skyrim, and easily the goodest boy in the entire game. The only way to recruit him is to find the hidden hut of his former master, which is why if you're not one for random exploration, you may not realize that Skyrim allows you to adopt your very own pet. Miko's hut is located to the south of Solitude and east of Morthal. Once there, you'll learn that Miko's previous owner died due to a terrible illness and that his dog stayed by his side right until his tragic end. From that point, you can ask Miko to follow you around and let him have a bit of fun after losing his former master. And number 1, Kaya, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. The 2021 RPG Pathfinder, The Wrath of the Righteous, is a brilliant title with an extensive character creator, plenty of memorable characters, and myriad of choices for you to make along your journey. Because the game is so expansive, it can be pretty hard to keep track of everything, and this includes learning how to recruit all of its 23 unique companions that are scattered across multiple playthroughs, paths, and origins. Kaya, unlike the other undead companions that tend to be recruited as you progress through the story, can only be brought back to serve you if you manage to trigger a very specific outcome in the third act of the game. More specifically, you have to provoke the Cavalier to attack your ziggurat and repel the attack. Once you deal with the attack and all your foes lie dead, you can find his corpse amongst the casualties and get him to join your army of undead servants. First you coerce him, then you slay him in combat, and then you bring him back to life to become your friend. That is weird, my dude. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 hidden video game companions you didn't realise can be recruited. I hope you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You have indeed been awesome, my friend, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.